Continue to go through some of the detail that we have here. We've got a pretty specific, detailed timeline of events that occurred this morning. It's 10 to 11 now. Police were first called at 9:31, so an hour and 20 or so minutes ago, by members of the public, saying that they had seen a car being driven towards people outside of the Heaton Park Hebrew congregation and that one person had been stabbed. Now, police have told us that they have shot who they believe to be the offender. That happened at 9:38 this morning. It's not clear at this stage the condition of that person who has been shot by the police, but we do know that 4 members of the public are being attended to by the ambulance service. Paramedics were at the scene at Heaton Park Congregation Synagogue at 9:41. Members of the public had suffered injuries that were caused by both the vehicle and by the stabbing incident. That incident, which began at 9:30 this morning. Firearms officers were then deployed at 9:34. Now, the police, Greater Manchester Police, have declared a major incident and also something that is known as Plato, which refers to Operation Plato, which is a national response protocol for no-notice marauding terror attacks or firearms incidents. You can see the severity to which this situation is being taken by police, not just in Manchester, but across the country, that they have declared a national response protocol for this situation. You can see this is the latest picture that we have, the emergency response there. You can see not only the paramedics in response, but also fire service have responded to this incident as well, which began after a call from a member of the public at 9:31 to police that they had witnessed a car being driven into members of the public and people being stabbed. Firearms officers were then deployed just 3 minutes later at 9:34 as more attacks came in from members of the public. Detail here that a security guard, they say, had been attacked with a knife. This all happening outside Heaton Park Hebrew Congregation Synagogue on Yom Kippur, the holiest of days in the Jewish calendar. And of course, synagogues have for many decades had to have their own private security, such as the threat to Jewish places of worship in this country. Now, by 9:37, a major incident was declared by Greater Manchester Police. And then at 9:38, just a minute later, once the firearms officers were on the scene, shots were fired by the police officers. One man shot, who they say was the offender. The paramedics that we can see here deployed pretty swiftly were there by 9:41. So 10 minutes after that first call came in to the police, the paramedics were on the scene tending to the injured. 4 people with injuries that they suffered from the vehicle incident. This began, as that witness had said to the police, with a car being driven towards people and people being stabbed. The paramedics are dealing with injuries caused by that vehicular attack, as well as by the stabbing that occurred after the vehicle attack. Now, of course, the roads have been closed and police are telling everyone to stay well away from the situation. The Mayor of Greater Manchester, Andy Burnham, has, of course, been speaking about this morning, saying that the threat appears to be over, while Greater Manchester Police are telling us that the offender who they suspect was involved with this has been shot, but there is a serious incident, Andy Burnham tells us. The immediate danger, though, appears to be over, but a major incident has been declared in the city, as well as a Plato, which, as I explained just a moment ago, is a operation that can be put into action by the police in the city, which brings about a national response protocol for what is described as a no-notice marauding terror attack, an MTA is described, or a firearms incident. Well, in this incident, outside the synagogue in the north of Manchester in Crumpsall on Yom Kippur of all days, certainly involved an individual driving a vehicle at members of the public and then proceeding to stab members of the public. That individual, Greater Manchester Police believe, has been shot. They believe him to be the offender. No detail of his condition. We do know that 4 members of the public have been injured, and the emergency services, the ambulance crews, are tending to them